Is the calisthenics training helping me with breaking? I'm getting this question a lot lately, but the answer is a little bit complicated. To answer this question, you should know a little bit about my background. Why I started calisthenics, how much did I practice breaking before, how much I'm practicing breaking now, and such things. So first of all, I started calisthenics in summer 2023. It was around July, if I'm not wrong. So now it's 1.5 years. Why did I start calisthenics? Because right before to start, I was traveling with my brother Falco around Asia. And during this trip, I didn't train at all. I didn't train breaking, I didn't train any workout, I didn't do anything. I just traveled and worked on videos. Sometimes when I found a practice spot, I trained a little bit, but it was not considered like a proper training because it was not consistent. So I think I traveled around 5 or 6 months. In these 5 or 6 months, I trained maybe 5 times. So once per month or even less actually. Before this trip, I was also not training so much because I was mainly focusing on making videos and on coaching. I was still training breaking, but very little and very not consistently. So my breaking level was getting lower towards end of 2022 and towards beginning of 2023 and the whole year 2023, my breaking level went down because I didn't practice at all. Beside my breaking level, I noticed my body shape was also getting worse. So usually when I don't train that much and when I don't care about eating so much, I eat randomly, usually I get skinnier. So during this trip, I got skinnier. Normally my body weight before doing calisthenics, so when I did only breaking, was maybe 69 kilograms or 68 kilograms. But during that trip, I lost maybe 2 or 3 kilograms. So I was around 66 kilograms or 67 or something like this, maybe even a little bit lower, I don't remember exactly. So when I came back to my hometown in Italy, I wanted to change things, I wanted to get back in shape, I wanted to practice breaking again, and at the same time, I wanted to build a little bit more muscle and to become a little bit bigger and heavier. Not that much, but just a little bit. So I always liked calisthenics actually, since already, I think, more than 5 years, but I never really practiced consistently. I learned muscle ups before and I did some workout before. I even made some videos some years ago of me doing workout even before starting calisthenics. But yeah, it was never consistent. So at the end of the trip in Asia in 2023, I thought it was a good opportunity to start doing it consistently. I contacted one of my friends who is very, very good in calisthenics and asked him if he could be my coach in calisthenics. So I wanted to train properly because I didn't know if my training method before when I did some workout was the most efficient one. And that's basically how I started and why I started. When I started calisthenics, I noticed I was pretty weak, especially in pulling exercises like pull-ups or chin-ups. And I felt a little bit embarrassed, to be honest, to be that bad. So I felt like I needed to put more effort in calisthenics and a little bit less in breaking because I thought the priority for this time was to focus on my strength and on build muscles a little bit. I really wanted to see my body shape get a little better. So I reduced the breaking training, and at the time I was practicing maybe only once or twice per week, and the calisthenics training at the beginning was around 4 times a week. Then studying calisthenics, I immediately noticed improvement pretty quickly. In the first months already, I learned some handstand push-ups. I learned a little bit the advanced tuck planche, the advanced tuck front lever, or other skills about calisthenics. Nothing crazy actually, but I felt kind of motivated and happy to see this progress. And so I decided to put my priority in calisthenics, just because I really felt good to see some progress, not only skills progress, but also I started to see my body shape changing a little bit. Nothing crazy as well, but still I could notice progress in both cases, my body shape and my skills in calisthenics. Then I started traveling again. During these trips, for me it was very hard to manage calisthenics, breaking and traveling and working, of course. So I needed to sacrifice something. Since I was very motivated in calisthenics and I could see progress, I decided to sacrifice breaking. For several months, I didn't practice breaking much, I mainly just practiced calisthenics. Sometimes when I had the chance, I still practiced breaking. For example, if I traveled to a city where I know some b-boys, or if I found randomly a practice spot in breaking, I still practice a little bit, but it was never consistent. But what I noticed was that my breaking level was not getting lower anymore. With that, I assumed that making my body active and doing calisthenics made me not lose my skills in breaking. So actually calisthenics helped me for breaking. because I'm pretty sure if I didn't do anything, if I didn't practice calisthenics and I also didn't practice breaking like I did, my breaking level would go lower and lower. But since my body was still active and I was practicing calisthenics, my breaking level didn't go down. It was kind of the same. Then more months passed by, and then I can tell you about my now situation. My situation now is I'm practicing calisthenics consistently, I'm still seeing progress in calisthenics, and I started to add a little bit of breaking. But still, my breaking now is not so consistent. When I can, I practice, but it's not like, for example, 3 times a week or more. It's sometimes 1 time a week, sometimes 2 times a week, sometimes 0 times a week. I feel like when I can, I practice breaking, and when I can't because of work or because I'm tired because of the calisthenics training or other reasons, then I just keep the training. In the past, I never did like that. So when I first started breaking, I was practicing like every day or maybe 6 times a week. Back in the days when I noticed my fastest improvement in breaking, it was when I used to practice daily or almost daily, like 5, 6 or even 7 times a week. When I reduced the training, my progress got slower. And then of course, if I reduced the training even more, my progress hit a plateau and I didn't progress anymore basically. I just maintained my level or maybe even decreased my level. To me, it's just a matter of how much I practice breaking. Right now, I'm still not practicing breaking so much as I used to. So my breaking level hit kind of like a plateau, or maybe it's even a little bit decreasing. But this doesn't mean that calisthenics is not helping. Actually, I still think calisthenics helps me, as I said before. But something more interesting that I noticed since I started getting stronger because of calisthenics, I noticed some skills in breaking are easier, but just some specific skills, not everything in general. Mainly the freezes transitions. I didn't learn anything new or anything crazy just because of calisthenics that made me unlock new skills in breaking. No, this didn't happen. But what happened is that the freezes transitions that I could do before in breaking, now they became easier. So for example, doing a side freeze to handstand become much easier now and much lighter. And before I could do a side freeze to handstand maybe only 5 times maximum. But now I feel like I can do side freeze to handstand more than 5 times. I didn't count, I never tried how many times I can do it, but probably even around 10 times. Or even other things, for example, elbow to handstand or shoulder freeze to handstand. Basically all the moves where I need to push up. I think mainly the handstand push-up and also a little bit the planche helped me to build shoulder strength and tricep strength to be able to push myself up when I do freezes transitions. But for power moves, like for example flares or air flares, I didn't notice any difference actually. For example, I don't feel like I can push stronger in the flare when I want to go up, or I don't feel like my air flare is better. I don't feel any difference actually. The real only thing that I can see the difference is the freezes transitions, especially when I go up from the freezes. Actually, also when I go down, I have more control, of course. If I would practice both things, breaking and calisthenics efficiently together and split my energy equally in both of them, I think it would be the best combo. And actually this is my goal now. I want to find a good balance between calisthenics and breaking and mix them and have a well-structured routine. It's a little bit hard for me because at the moment I'm still traveling and I still need to work, so I need to balance a lot of things and it's pretty hard. But I'm getting better and I feel like I can do it. If you want to start calisthenics and you are already a b-boy, I recommend doing so. But of course, be careful on how you split your energy and time. I really recommend to do the calisthenics training after your breaking training if you're doing it on the same day. Very often I do the opposite thing just because calisthenics is more like a priority for me. So usually I practice calisthenics first and then if I have extra time I practice some breaking. But by doing that, I often feel tired already when I practice breaking because I lost so much energy with my calisthenics training, and then when I practice breaking I feel my muscles sore almost already. But if you want to give priority to breaking, practice breaking first and then at the end of the breaking training you can do some workout or calisthenics. Or if you can do it in different days and alternate, so for example on Monday you do breaking, on Tuesday you do calisthenics, Wednesday breaking, and so on, maybe it's gonna be good as well. But if you want to be like very high level in breaking, you should practice breaking more. For example, at least 4 times a week, and maybe calisthenics you should reduce and do it maybe twice a week or maybe 3 times a week. It's very hard to find a good balance between the two, but it's completely possible. And you can already see some examples, like for example Sai Monster. He's very high level both in power moves and freezes, but also in calisthenics. And also a few other b-boys, they have a very good level in both of them. So I think it's totally possible. It's all about time and energy management. Last thing that I want to tell you, during this whole time while I did calisthenics, I also did some mobility work. Especially I do some stretching a little bit before my calisthenics training, and also after my calisthenics training I do stretching again. I think this actually helped me a lot too, to maintain my breaking skills, because if I wouldn't do any stretching, probably I would lose some mobility for flares, for other power moves, or even freezes. But by doing this stretching, I feel I keep my mobility, or even I improved actually my mobility a little bit, especially my shoulder mobility is getting a little better, and this helps me a lot with breaking. And I also think mobility helps breaking way more than working out. Of course, this is a little bit subjective, so for example, if you're very weak but you're very flexible already, this is not your case. Probably working out will help you way more than stretching, but most of people I notice they are not so flexible, but they are strong enough to do breaking moves. Because in breaking we don't need so much strength actually. It's all about body control and coordination, and also about mobility. So doing mobility work will be way more useful to do a workout, especially at the end of the training, or if your main goal is to focus on breaking and your priority is breaking, and you have already a little bit of a strength basic, you don't need to do a workout necessarily. I do it because I like it, I enjoy it, I like to work out, I like to do calisthenics, I like to learn these kind of skills like handstand push-ups, planche, front lever, back lever, human flag, and so on. And I also enjoy the training, I enjoy the process. Many people, they don't enjoy the workout, but this doesn't mean that you need to do it. Because for a long time I only did breaking without doing any workout, and actually this was the time where I improved faster because my priority was only breaking. But if you are able to do some mobility, it's gonna be even better and way more useful for breaking itself. So, sorry if the answer is a little bit complicated. In general, I would say if you wanna get strong, especially in tricks and combos, calisthenics will definitely help you. If your focus is mostly like footwork and power move, I think calisthenics doesn't help that much. Maybe just a little bit. Most b-boys who are very good in power moves, they are pretty flexible. So work on your mobility first, and workout can be second, shouldn't be the priority. But if you really like, for example, b-boy junior style, and if you want to learn planches and very like strong movements, then of course calisthenics will help you a lot. So even though calisthenics didn't really help me directly in breaking, it helped me in another way, more like in a mental way, and also in how to build a training plan way. But I'm gonna talk about that in the next video. So stay tuned if you wanna see it. If you want to try to structure a training both in breaking but also in workout or stretching, you don't know how to do it, consider joining my coaching plans. I will leave the link in the description. Or if you want to learn specific moves like windmills, wipes, flare and air flares, check out the PDF guides. I will leave also the link in the description. And see you next time with a new video. Yo ninjas!